All right, welcome everybody. I call this meeting to order at 7:35 p.m. Will Senator Randall start us off with the pledge?
Thank you, President Harmon. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join us for a moment of silence. Thank you. And before we do roll, I will do the land acknowledgement. The student government of Florida State University acknowledges that it is located on land that is the ancestral and traditional territory of the Appalachian Nation, the Miccosukee Tribe of Florida, the Muskegee Creek Nation, and the Seminole Tribe of Florida. We pay respect to their elders past and present and extend that respect to their descendants and to all indigenous people. We recognize this land remains scarred by the histories and ongoing legacies of settler colonial violence, dispossession, and removal. In spite of all this, and with tremendous resilience, these indigenous nations have remained deeply connected to this territory, to their families, to their communities, and to their cultural ways of life. We recognize the ongoing relationships of care that these indigenous nations maintain with this land and extend our gratitude as we live and work as humble and respectful guests upon their territory. We encourage all to learn about and educate others on the contemporary work of the indigenous nations whose land we are on, and to endeavor to support indigenous sovereignty in all ways that we can. And now will the pro tempore please call the roll?
When I call your names, please raise your hands. Senators Murcia, Flashman, and Tackett. Senators Roy, Villacorta, and Marcus. Senators Bateman, Hunter, and Little. Senators Bergen, Rudolph, and Destine. Senators Grunberger, Rossi, and Mouget. Senators Shaler, Prussia, and Randall. Senators Stoltz, Arrett, and England. Senators Nasworthy, Molina, and Hall. Senators Lassard, Duperrier, and Shanahan. Senators Rodriguez, Linsky, and Rigadel. Senators Fineout, Soto, and Lewis. Senators Ramos, Sam, and Gonzalez. Senators Martin, Gabadage, and Reed. Senators Moore, Suarez, and Nemeth. Senators Russell, J. Hitchcock, and Melion. Senators Murray, West, and Rivera. Senators Thorpe, K. Hitchcock, and Kubas. Senators Darrell Deke, Tooks, and Ross. Senators Bull, Kalink, and Louise. Senator Stinson and R. Gonzalez. All right, President Harmon, we do have quorum.
Thank you, Pro Tempore Wang. Quorum is verified. Corrections and approval of the journal from March 3rd, 2021. Is there a motion to approve the journal from last week? Senator Soto.
I motion to approve the journal from last week.
Is there a second? Senator Rudolph,
So seconded.
are there any objections? Seeing none, the journal is approved. Student and non-budgeted RSO comments. Are there any students wishing to speak? Students or non-budgeted RSOs wishing to speak at this time? Just raise your hand using the reaction function and I will unmute you. All right, seeing none, special introductions, announcements. Please welcome Megan Del Debbio from ITS, who will be giving a short presentation today. If you could just raise your hand, I can unmute you and, oh, there we go. All right, there we go. Welcome to the Senate. Oh no, your hand went down. Sorry, I was about to unmute you. All right, there we go, awesome. And if you need to share anything on the screen, I'm sure Anna can give you co-host.
Great. Hey, thanks for having me. My name is Megan Del Debbio. I'm from Information Technology Services. And I do have one slide if I can share my screen.
All right, Anna, can you allow that to happen?
If not, no big deal. We have a campaign going on. So I'm bringing it up here. Here we go. All right. So everybody is using 2FA now. We rolled it out last fall, and we've had a lot of success with it. But one of the things that we have run into, first of all, any questions about 2FA overall before I kind of introduce this campaign that we're doing, or any concerns about 2FA and how it's used to sign into different FSU systems? All right. So one of the things that we have run into with it is there's multiple ways to authenticate to get into FSU systems. And the mobile app is the most secure. It's the fastest way once you get used to it. The first time you do it, it gets easier from there. So we're trying to push people to use the mobile app. And then the behind the scenes thing is whenever somebody uses a passcode or a call, it is costing ITS a lot of money. So we're really trying to push people to use the app because it's the best way, and also because economically it helps our budget out a ton. We're going through lots and lots of money every time somebody authenticates with the means other than the app. So to try to encourage people to use the app, we have this promo that we're running the month of March. Anybody who uses the Duo mobile app to sign into any FSU system, we're pointing people to my FSU portal because it's probably the area that you guys are most used to signing into. But any system that's 2FA protected will get you entered into the contest. All you have to do is authenticate with the 2FA app, and you'll automatically be entered into a random drawing to win an Apple Watch. And we're just trying to get the word out about it, trying to get people to use the app to authenticate with 2FA. And if they're running into issues, we know there are some issues and some barriers to why people might not be using the app. So we put together a troubleshooting PDF, and this is available on our website, its.fsu.edu/2FA. But it can walk people through some of the common issues that we know they may be running into and reasons they might not be using the app. Any questions about the campaign or concerns about if some of these issues look like things that you've hit yourself? Any questions that I can answer?
Senator England.
Yeah, I just had a quick question. I don't believe the remember for 30 days thing works on mobile. I think it requires cookies or something. So I know, I don't know if that's something you guys could look into, but one issue that I've run into is, I always, if I'm logging into Canvas through my phone, for example, I always have to do Duo every time I want to do it because I'm not able to select the remember me for 30 days option. And I've actually heard, I work for international programs, and I know that staff there as well are facing the same issue, like when trying to access my FSU through the phone. yeah, so I don't know if you have any insight on that or whether or not that can be solved.
I do not have an answer to that. I haven't had that same experience, but I am going to take a note of that and bring it up with our team and see if that is something that they're aware of, or if that's something that we need to add to our PDF. So thank you for bringing that to my attention. In my experience, you shouldn't be having that roadblock. You shouldn't be having to do it every single time. So I will look into that for you.
Senator Flashman? Oh, I don't think we can hear you.
My local mic.
There we go.
I've noticed another issue as well, that if you use the push option, when you use the 30 days, I've seen a lot of this, and I figured out the only way to get rid of it is if you cancel and then redo it over again is the only way to get it to save. And I know a lot of students haven't done that because it's just an extra step that's unnecessary. I don't know if that's something that's being looked into, but I mean, it's kind of annoying to have to go back, cancel it, and restart and get 2 push notifications for it to get the save 30 days.
Yeah, that's a known issue. And that's kind of the bottom of this PDF here, click the remembering for 30 days. The little FAQ that link will take you to tells you what to do if you run into that, and you're doing it exactly right. You just have to hit cancel and then check the box. But it's just that one time, and then you'll be good for 30 days. So we're still trying to push people to use that just so it's more convenient. They don't keep getting hit with it, but you're right. It is one extra step. But once you do that, you'll be good for 30 days.
Senator Darley?
Yeah, thank you for coming, ma'am. I was just curious in regards to the raffle. How do I know if I've been, added to the random raffle, right? I've used the duo push option multiple times so far throughout March and in the past and stuff. And I'm just curious, I've had the app downloaded as well for months. So does that mean that I'm not eligible to be a part of the raffle? Is it only people who just downloaded it and used it for the first time in March, or is any student who uses it automatically put into the raffle? What's that process?
Yeah, that is a really good question. Anybody, students, faculty, staff, anybody who uses the app during the month of March, whether you've been using it for 7 months or if you just downloaded it today, you automatically get entered. We track all of it on the back end, so you don't have to do anything. Your name will just go into the pool. It's a single entry, so if you use it 18 times during the month, you still just get 1 entry. But everybody who uses the app, regardless of how long you've been using it, will be entered to win.
Are there any other questions for our guest? All right.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming. I think this was very informational, sorry. So thank you. All right. We will now move on to messages from the executive branch. Are there any members of the executive branch here to speak tonight? None. Messages from agency and bureau directors, SGA organizations, officers, and employees. None. Messages from the executive cabinet. None. Messages from the class councils. None. Messages from the Congress of Graduate Students. Oh, there we go. Speaker Hagemeyer.
Hey, what's up, everyone? First and foremost, I'd like to thank you guys for approving, or the Sweepings Committee specifically, for approving our request. All of our entities are pretty grateful for that. Also, thank you guys for approving your budget. We will be approving ours next Monday. Feel free to come out to that if you guys are interested in how we do our budget. Also, so this Friday, this Saturday, and I think somebody mentioned this last meeting, but the Advocates for Immigrant and Refugee Rights will be hosting their annual Immigrant and Refugee Field Day at Tom Brown Park from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So if you guys know any immigrants in the community, be sure to let them know. They'll have medical checkups, legal resources, groceries, games, so it should be nice. Also, Friday, March 26th, the law school will be hosting a drive-in movie night, doing the movie Soul. So they put down a lot of money for that. So I'd like to see a lot of student benefit for it. They'll have like I think some vendors, porta potties, everything like that. So, but that's all we got to report. But so thank you.
Do you happen to have any social media that this is shared on, or where we can find this information?
I can reach out to our deputy speaker of communications to make sure that it gets posted to the Instagram page, which I can also put that handlebar or send that to you if you want to put it in the chat.
Yep. All right. Thank you.
Cool.
Also, Soul is a really good movie, so I encourage y'all to go see it. All right. Moving on, messages from the judicial branch. None. Messages from the union board and student engagement ambassadors. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. I just have a few announcements. RSO pop-up started today, so they'll take place every Wednesday from 12 to 2. The sign up for that is on Knowles Central. SGA finance trainings will be held bi-weekly starting next week. If any of you are interested in helping host one or you want to contribute, just email me and we can set up a meeting and chat. Lastly, I think it would be awesome if any of you wanted to share the work you did in here through the Leaders Listserv. The form for that is on Knowles Central under Forms. You can submit a graphic or just a short little paragraph about whatever happens in Senate, and then leaders of all the RSOs will be able to read it and see what you guys do.
Thank you. Are there any other messages from the union board and student engagement ambassadors? Seeing none. Messages from the campus recreation board? None. Report of the SGA accounting office, remaining balances. Senate projects has a remaining balance of $23,837.20. PAC has a remaining balance of $33,395. RTAC has a remaining balance of $50,830, and the organizational fund has a remaining balance of $1,000. Report of Senate liaisons. Are there any liaisons wishing to make a report at this time? Senator Soto.
Hi, I have two reports. Sorry. The first one is for the Pride Student Union. So we're going to be hosting a general body meeting soon. I can send out the information once I know more. Yeah, so we're preparing for that. So I hope I can see some of y'all there. And then the second one is Relay for Life. We're kicking off next Friday. And it's going to be a whole week long instead of a whole day long. So be prepared to see a lot of spamming and in chat and stuff. So yeah, I look forward to seeing some of y'all there. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Senator Soto. Senator Darrell Deek.
Yeah, so I'm going to be speaking for the Muslim Student Association. MSA has their Muslim Awareness Week that's going to be happening starting on March 22nd. I believe it ends the Friday, which would be the 26th. And basically throughout that week, what they're doing is they're hosting a bunch of different events. They actually got a PAC request this week that they went through PAC. I believe they went through finance as well. And they requested some funding for food for one of their events that they're hoping to have in person, as well as some money. I'm not sure if the funding in regards to the speaker was approved or not, but they're hoping to have a speaker who can help, educate students on, what Islam is and kind of what Muslims do that is religious. And even beyond that, it's kind of a week to allow the student body, faculty, and staff to get an opportunity to ask questions in regards to whatever they want to know about Islam and actually understand the religion rather than making assumptions and, just having these biases that they internally hold, and kind of allowing people to understand, what the religion is and allowing for those questions to be had in a space that's safe and open to every member of the student body, faculty, and staff. So if you would want, I'm going to share the flyer in the Senate chat so you can share it around if you'd like. But even beyond that, even word of mouth helps. But, I just would say that I hope to see some of your faces there. I'm going to do my best to be there. But with that said, thank you guys for allowing me to speak.
Chair Martin.
Hello, everybody. I'm doing Peace Jam Southeast. We're having a virtual peace hour tomorrow at 5 p.m. to talk about the Seminole Tribe of Florida, have an open conversation, learn a little bit more about the tribe and the Seminole people with Dr. Erin Sylvester Philpott, who is in the Center for Leadership and Social Change. So if you want to be a part of that, be a part of the conversation, I really welcome y'all to do that. And then we also have a Saturday session peace hour on March 13th at 12 p.m. talking about protecting our land and water, indigenous movements, and Line 5. So I can put that in the Senate chat so that hopefully I can see some of y'all there.
Thank you, Chair Martin. Senator Marcus.
Hey everyone, so AASU Heritage Month is continuing, whereas the first two events have already happened. They were very successful. The third event of the month is actually happening right now as we speak. Their keynote speaker is Ian Chi. He is coming on March 13th, and he is has 5 million followers, is the founder of Jubilee Media. We approved funding for that with my Senate resolution last week. And then more events are the annual Mama pageant, which is on March 20th from 6 to 9 p.m. at the ASLC Theater. And then it's going to culminate in the 25th anniversary celebration from 6 to 9 p.m. The location for that is to be announced, so stay tuned for further updates. But I really hope to see some of you at their Heritage Month events.
Thank you, Senator Marcus. Are there any other Senate liaisons wishing to speak at this time? Seeing none, report of the committees, internal affairs.
Hey everyone, so we met at 6:30 p.m. on Monday. We heard one candidate for confirmation, Mr. Jack Rowan, who passed the committee for the position of Senate parliamentarian. So he has the full support of the committee, and we will be hearing him for confirmation tonight. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair England. Slaw.
Hello, everybody. SLAW met yesterday at 8 p.m. Sorry, there was a lot that happened. I wrote it down. So we passed Bill 17, sponsored by England and Nemeth, passed Bill 18, sponsored by Chair Soto, passed Bill 19, sponsored by Linsky, which was then sent to Judiciary. Bill 20 by Senator Bull, also sent to Judiciary after it passed into law. Resolution 17 and 18, sponsored by Darrell Deek, are still tabled. Resolution 24, sponsored by Chair Stinson, tabled until next week. Resolution 25, sponsored by Prussia and Hunter, was also passed, and then Resolution 26 was tabled. Really good meeting, love SLAW, and I'm happy to see these on the floor tonight.
Thank you, Chair Martin. Finance.
All right, yeah. So Finance met yesterday at 5:30 p.m. We heard one candidate for PAC, Mr. Benjamin Schoenfeld, and he passed our committee and will be up for confirmation tonight. And we also heard and passed RTAC Resolution 10 and amended and passed PAC Resolution 11. Thanks again to anyone who came out, and also big shout out to all the senators that helped PAC meet quorum and sat through their very, very long meeting. So thank you all.
Thank you, Chair Rudolph. Next, we have Judiciary. There we go, Chair Little.
Hello, everyone. Judiciary met today at an unconventional time. We met at 5 p.m. But we did a bunch of stuff. We passed Bill 18, Bill 19, Bill 20, and Constitutional Amendment 7, all of which should hit the floor tonight. And then we tabled Bill 3, Bill 22, and Constitutional Amendment 8. So shout out to my committee and all the sponsors and everyone who made the weird meeting time. Y'all are awesome.
Thank you, Chair Little. Budget.
Stinson and Gonzalez are not here.
All right, is there a member of the Budget Committee wishing to make a report on behalf of Budget? If not, I could just report for Budget. Budget didn't meet, they didn't have quorum. So, well, they tried to meet, didn't have quorum. So that's about it. Budget will meet next week at 7 p.m. on Monday. Rules and calendar.
Hey guys, so rules and calendar met at 5 p.m. just before Senate. Resolution 4 remains tabled, and we did not hear any of the suspension hearings for any of the senators out of respect for them. And we're waiting for next week to hear them. It's just so they can have a chance to make it to the Rules and Calendar Committee.
Thank you, Pro Tempore Wang. RIJ, Chair Hunter.
Hi, Senate. So Ridge is meeting this Friday at 6 p.m. Unfortunately, we could not meet last week due to like an incorrect link being posted to the website. So we'll be making up for that this Friday with a very productive and hopefully communicative meeting. So I wanted to extend also to Senate that we usually don't have a lot of members from Senate come to our meetings who are not committee members. So if you have time on Friday, please attend our committee to be a part of some of the changes that we're hoping to seek on campus.
Thank you, Chair Hunter. SA Squared, Chair Soto.
Hi. So SA Squared met last Sunday. We got a lot of stuff done, and we're actually meeting with some Division of Student Affairs people this Friday from 3 to 5. I'll send out the link in the Senate group chat on like the day of. If any of y'all are interested in coming out, we're just going to be talking about like, you know, different resources that we think should be included in like orientation modules and stuff like that, as well as like how we can you know, support students and also faculty and staff that have went through such sexual violence stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much all we have. So yeah.
Thank you, Chair Soto. Senate confirmations. We have Jack Rowan for the parliamentarian for the Senate and Ben Schoenfeld for PAC. If both of you can raise your hands so I can unmute you, and then we can begin your interview process. Is Ben here? All right, there we go. Awesome. All right, so we'll start with Jack and then go to Ben. You will each have 5 minutes for your opening. Whatever you don't use for your opening is reserved for your closing. Yep, we'll start with Jack. You may begin whenever you're ready. Sorry, go ahead.
Thank you very much, President Harmon. My name is Jack Rowan. I'm a freshman studying political science, and I'm also your friendly neighborhood Publix front desk employee. So I will be seeing y'all if, anytime y'all got to fill out your purchase orders. I'm here tonight for your confirmation to become the parliamentarian of the Senate. Robert's Rules has been a very big part of my life. Some people say that I quote Roberts almost as much as some people quote the Bible. They're probably not wrong. I've been working with Roberts throughout my time in the World Affairs Program and Model United Nations in general. I have, for the past about month, been doing informal advising with the Senate President on parliamentary procedure, and I would like to become parliamentarian in order to formalize this advice and be able to work with all senators and be able to get all questions solved. I have worked with the Finance Committee in the past to revise their rules of procedure, because if any of you have ever looked at the finance procedure, which I think it's still up on the website, Ben Young hasn't changed it yet, but it at one point had, there was a point in it where it was asking what the voting threshold was for consent resolutions, and it had 5 different voting thresholds, because it was given to the committee and said, choose one of these 5. And the committee said, no. And so all 5 were up there. So I worked with the committee to try to make those changes, and that did pass. So I'm very happy about that. If you guys are willing to confirm me tonight for parliamentarian, so my priorities within the rest of the 73rd Senate include setting up a Qualtrics in which senators who want full reports on any questions about both parliamentary procedure, statutes, constitutional issues, rules of procedure can ask. I can fill out that report, and I can try to give a nice, long, and reasoned answer to that. I want to work with the Senate President, the Pro Temp, and the entirety of the Rules Committee to do an overhaul of the rules. I know President Harmon, that has been a very big issue of importance ever since, especially since you were the President Pro Temp, and sadly never got around to that with all the craziness of the summer. So it'd be really, really nice if we can get to that, and I'd love to help with that. And if you have any questions for me, please fire away. I'll take any and all questions regardless of topic. And thank you all very much for your consideration tonight, and I'll yield the rest of my time to my closing.
Candidate yields 2 minutes and 33 seconds to the remainder of his closing. We will now move on to Ben for his candidacy for PAC. You have 5 minutes for your opening. You may begin whenever you're ready.
Hello, my name is Ben Schoenfeld. I am a candidate for the PAC committee. I am currently a freshman studying political science. I am an honor student here, and I want to be on PAC because, well, I heard about SGA during the elections from both Senator Flashman and Senator Randall, and they both inspired me to get involved. And they told me that a really great opportunity was the PAC committee. I have had experience working with money before. I was the president of my youth group in high school, and we had to balance our own budget. So I think I do a very good job of balancing the budget of all the RSOs and what we give them here. And I really hope that y'all confirm me. And yeah, I'll yield the rest of my time.
All right, candidate yields 4 minutes and 14 seconds to the remainder of his closing. Are there any questions for the candidates at this time? Senator Marcus.
This is to the PAC candidate. I asked this question in committee last night. I'm just curious if there's a follow-up. You informed us that you had completed the financial certification exam. Did you get your results for that?
I did. I passed. So that's definitely, let's go.
Congratulations on passing your exam. All right, Senator Bull.
Thank you, Mr. President. This one is directed to Mr. Rowan. Are the allegations true that you own a physical copy of Robert's Rules?
With these speculative questions, I do have to say, yes, I do. And way too frequently, I have to pull them out during Senate. Thank you for the question.
All right, next we have Senator Randall, or Chair Randall.
Thank you, President Harmon. My question for the candidate for Senate parliamentarian is, can you give me an example of a time when you were able to successfully communicate with another person, even when that individual may not have personally liked you or vice versa or anything like that?
Sure. Especially in my time doing Monty Nations back at the high school level, I served as the president of my school's club for 2 years, and a lot of the time with that, you definitely had a lot of disputes in which, so at some points, there might be a chance for things to get personal, and then you have to sit there and, as two grown-ups, just sit down and fully work it out. And I, especially with work making conferences and the big deals that putting on a conference entails, I definitely have had those points where I've had to sit down with people and say, hey, things aren't getting done. We have 2 months until this event, and you have this long list of work. I know you and I might not get along, but we both want to see this great conclusion at the end. So let's work together and ensure we have this great ending that works for everyone and that is a benefit to the community. Thank you for the question.
Senator Marcus. Oh, okay. All right. Any other questions for the candidates at this time? Senator Martin.
Hello, this is for Jack Rowan. I want to ask what your plans are with working with the chairs of each committee if you are elected as parliamentarian.
Thank you, Chair Martin, for that question. I would love to work very closely with the chairs. As I mentioned in my opening statement, and prior to, or at the beginning of the 73rd Senate, I had given the Finance Committee a revised copy of the Rules of Procedure. I didn't notice anything particularly egregious within the other committee's rules of procedure as I did in the Finance, and I can see Chair Rudolph nodding his head about how bad it was. And I would love, especially, to work with the chairs in their capacity as the members of the Rules and Calendar Committee in trying to create Senate rule changes. And I think it's time that there's a full revamp and a full review of Senate rules. And if that were to happen, the chairs, as the leaders of the Senate, would be my first contact probably my second contact behind the Senate President pro tem, but y'all would be instrumental to the process. And I would want your feedback at all points throughout that process.
Senator Soto.
Yeah, this is a question for both candidates, and it's what, besides what you said in your opening statements, what inspired you to apply for these roles?
We'll start with Jack and then go to Ben.
Thank you very much, Chair So, for that question. As I mentioned to you in the Internal Affairs Committee, one of the things that pushed me to put in my application was watching what happened with the Senate when there wasn't a parliamentarian. So we are now on, I believe we're at 4 months, if not 5, where we have not had a parliamentarian. And there have been, in that time, I think, there's our senators who have watched this Senate for years longer than I have. I'm only first year, but have seen procedural situations that have never come up before and that are more complex than ever before. And it's in these times that there needs to be a parliamentarian. And I want to be there to be able to help the Senate kind of navigate these waters and ensure that we come to a solution to these procedural issues in which everyone can have their voice heard in a very fair way.
All right, Ben.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so as I mentioned in my opening, both Senator Randall and Senator Flashman told me about the position, but the reason that I wanted to apply for the PAC position is because I see so much work being done by RSOs to improve student life, and I want to be a part of what they're doing and being able to see all the cool stuff and all the exciting things that are happening on our campus and being able to be a part of making those things happen. And also, yeah, that's the main reason.
Are there any other questions for the candidates at this time? Seeing none, is there a motion? Senator Randall?
Mr. President, I move to forward the candidates individually.
Is there a second? Senator Rudolph?
So seconded.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, we will now go into the candidates closing, of which we'll start with Jack Rowan, who has 2 minutes and 33 seconds in the remainder of his closing. You may begin whenever you're ready.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and I'd like to thank all senators for their questions. Y'all know me. I probably give some senators a run for their money when it comes to attendance, both between Senate meetings and committee meetings. I love the Senate as both an institution and its members. And if I were to be confirmed to this position, I would just want to do everything in my capacity to try to just help the Senate be that much better and be that much more efficient. If you confirm me tonight, I will be a fighter for the Senate. I'll be a fighter for the rights and privileges of every single one of you, regardless of who you are, what background you come from, what party might have elected you. None of that. The rules aren't partisan. They're there to make sure that everyone has their fair chance to have their issue heard, debated, and then voted upon. And if I were to be parliamentarian, I would help to enforce that. So I thank you very much, and I hope that you would vote yes on confirming me to become parliamentarian.
All right, candidate waives remainder of his time. We will now move on to the next candidate, and then we'll move into voting after that. So, Ben, you have 4 minutes and 14 seconds left in your closing. You may begin whenever I unmute you. There you go.
Thank you all for your time today. As I've said and hopefully proved in the answering of your questions, I'm very excited for this position. I feel like I'm very informed and very qualified for this position. I hope that you all agree. And I hope that together as senators and as part of the committee, we can all do great things, make this university even better than it already is. Thank you all for your time. And I hope you vote yes for me. Appreciate it.
Candidate waives remainder of his time. We are now in line to vote. We'll start with Jack Rowan for the parliamentarian position. Will the pro tempore please administer the vote?
Those wishing to vote yes on Jack Rowan, please raise your hands. Those wishing to vote no, please raise your hands. Those wishing to abstain, please raise your hands. Is there anyone wishing to change their vote? All right, vote reads 35 yes, 1 no, 3 abstentions. Candidate does pass.
Congratulations, Jack Rowan. You are now the 73rd, well, after you take the oath, you will be the 73rd Senate parliamentarian. Moving on to Ben for the Programming Allocations Committee membership. Will the pro tempore please administer the vote? Oh, geez.
All right, all those wishing to vote yes on the candidate, please raise your hands. Those wishing to vote no, please raise your hands. Those wishing to abstain, please raise your hands. Is there anyone wishing to change their vote? All right, vote reads 38 yes, 0 no, 0 abstention. Candidate does pass. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Ben Schoenfeld. You are, just don't leave. We are going to do the, we will have the pro tempore administer the oath. Will the pro tempore please administer the oath?
Yes, give me like 2 seconds.
Oh, and if you could raise your virtual hand, Ben, so we can unmute you. There we go.
Cool.
All right. Candidates for student body offices may choose to replace the words "so help me God" with "on pain of impeachment" when taking the oath of office. Do you understand?
I do.
Yes.
I state your name.
I, Jack Rowan,
I, Benjamin Isaac Schoenfeld,
Promise to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America.
promise to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America,
United States of America,
The state of Florida.
the state of Florida,
the state of Florida,
And the Florida State University student body.
and the Florida State
and the
University
Florida
Senate body.
University student body.
And I shall perform my duties to the best of my ability.
And I will use my duties to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me
So
God.
help me God.
Congratulations.
Go.
Congratulations, Jack and Ben. So Ben, you can leave the call if you'd like. Jack, you can also leave the call if you'd like, but I would hope that you would stay, considering this is your job now. So, all right. Moving on, consent calendar to the consent calendar, consent resolution 10, sponsored by Senator Randall, allocating funding from the Resources for Travel Allocations Committee to fund virtual conference attendance by the Mexican American Student Association. Whereas consent resolution number 10, the Resource for Travel Allocations Committee met on Monday, March 8th, 2021, in which they heard the Society for Asian Scientists and Engineers, in which they were funded $0 in every category for a total of $0. And then they heard from the Mexican American Student Association, in which they funded $500 in the category of travel expense, for a total of $500, or a grand total of $500 for consent resolution number 10. Is there a motion to approve consent resolution number 10? Senator Boole.
So moved.
Senator Soto.
So seconded.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, consent resolution 10 is approved. Consent resolution 11, sponsored by Senator Roy, allocating funding from the Programming Allocations Committee to Relay for Life, the Flute Association, and the Muslim Student Association, in which the Programming Allocations Committee heard from Relay for Life of FSU, and they funded, in the category of expense, $6,585 for a grand total of $6,585. Because this is over $2,000, we have to pass this by a 2/3 vote with a line item vote. Please welcome the sponsor to the floor to present this line item, Senator Roy, or Chair Roy. You have 5 minutes to present.
Good evening, Senate, and thank you for your time. So tonight we're hearing over funding of Relay for Life. So Relay for Life is an amazing organization here on our campus that fundraises for the goal of helping cancer societies, specifically helping the American Cancer Society. So this is an organization that uses all of its funds to do this. And so that's why they don't have a lot in their budgets normally to host these events on their own. They often work with the local community, and they've been hosting events like this every year, but because of the pandemic, other people in our local area have been a bit hesitant being able to reach out and support them monetarily. That's why their budget is so big this year. And we had heard and we discussed this for a long time because it is a lot of money. However, this money will go to renting IBM fields, which they're having to rent the entire field because of social distancing guidelines. As well, they're having to rent audio and visual equipment. Again, this will also be more expensive because of the social distancing guidelines, because they're buying speakers for each of the 4 areas because they can't pack as they would normally would be able to. This is an event that will be garnering national attention as their actual founder will be there. This is one of the few Relay for Life events that they're even having in the nation. And it's one that the board for Relay for Life have been working on for a long time. They would greatly appreciate our support. This is vital support. If they wouldn't have any of this funding, they wouldn't be able to put on this event. And so PAC heard this, we moved forward, we have full faith in the events. And if you have any questions, you can make sure to voice them. So I yield my time.
Sponsor yields 3 minutes and 18 seconds to his closing. Are there any technical non-debatable questions at this time? Seeing none, we are now in the first round of pro. Are there any senators wishing to speak in the first round of pro? Senator Marcus.
Yeah, so we debated this and another amendment to this for a very long time in Senate Finance yesterday evening, and it was even longer in the PAC committee. So this has been fully vetted, and even though this particular amount that we are voting on right now is above that limit, I'm still in pro of this because it was still significantly less than what they were asking for and what they potentially needed for this event. And I think it's a great cause, and this has my full support.
Senator yields 1 minute and 24 seconds to the remainder of pro. Are there any senators wishing to speak? All right, seeing none, we'll move into the first round of con. Are there any senators wishing to speak in the first round of con? Seeing none, is there a motion? Senator Lassard. Oh, there we go.
I'd like to move to approve the line item.
Is there a second? Senator Marcus?
So seconded.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, sponsor, you have 3 minutes and 18 seconds left in your closing. You may begin whenever you're ready.
All right, thank you. So thank you again for your time hearing this. Like, we have fully vetted, it looks great. Of course, we had to look at areas where we could cut, and we did cuts. We also looked at just finding what would be a safe thing, like making sure that they still had appropriate setup so that they wouldn't be liable for lawsuits, so that this would still be a productive event for our students at FSU. And I very much hope to see this event go through and events similar to this also be able to work at our campus, even during this time. So thanks again. Hope you all have a great night. I yield my time.
Sponsor waives the remainder of his time. We are now in line to vote. Pro Tempore Wang, please administer the vote.
Those wishing to vote yes on this line item, please raise your hands. Those wishing to vote no, please raise your hands. Those wishing to abstain, please raise your hands. Is there anyone wishing to change their vote? All right, vote reads 34 yes, 0 no, 2 abstentions. Line item does pass.
All right. And next we have the Flute Association at FSU, in which they were funded $1,000 in the category of contractual services, $0 in all other categories, for a total of $1,000. And then the Muslim Student Association was funded $50 in the category of expense, $780 in the category of food, and $0 in all other categories, for a total of $830, which brings the total of consent resolution number 11 to $8,415. Is there a motion to approve consent resolution 11? Senator England.
Yeah, I move to adopt consent resolution 11.
Is there a second? Senator Lassard.
So seconded.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, consent resolution does pass. Congratulations to the sponsor. Next, bills on first reading. Bill 3, sponsored by Senator Villacorta, updating the list of major offices, preserve checks and balances, and address conflicts of interest, referred to judiciary, remains tabled in judiciary, awaiting an advisory opinion, I believe. No, yeah. Bill 17, sponsored by Senator England and Nemeth as primary sponsors and Martin and Jay Hitchcock as co-sponsors, transferring $1,720 in Senate project funds to the Center for Leadership and Social Change to fund the purchasing of graduation stoles for the Veracity Cultural Graduation. Referred to SLAW, then budget, passed in SLAW. It awaits passage in budget. Bill 21, sponsored by Senator Darrell Deek, is the primary sponsor. A. Gonzalez, Hunter, R. Gonzalez, Ramos, Roy, Prescia, Lassard, Stoltz, and Nasworthy, all as co-sponsors, establishing the Arab Student Union as an SGA agency at the 2021 spring SGA inauguration. Referred to budget, then SLAW, then internal affairs, then judiciary. It remains tabled in budget. Bill 22, sponsored by Senator Marcus and Hunter as primary sponsors, banning the purchase and use of disposable plastic water bottles with ANS monies, referred to judiciary, then finance. I believe this was tabled in judiciary. All right, it was tabled in judiciary. I don't have this on the calendar, so thank you. Remains tabled in judiciary. Bill 23, sponsored by Senator Marcus as primary sponsor, Randall, Tackett, Soto, Ramos, Nasworthy, Lassard, Murcia, Villacorta, Arote, and Stoltz as co-sponsors, allocating Senate project funds to Planned Parenthood Generation Action for the second installation of changing tables in highly trafficked bathrooms on campus. That will go to SLAW, then budget. Bills on second reading. Bill 18, sponsored by Senator Soto as the primary sponsor and Senator Marcus as the co-sponsor. Further promoting gender inclusivity in SGA by revising 712.1C to acknowledge a candidate's name as stated in their MyFSU account where preferred name may be listed, referred to SLAW, then judiciary, passed in SLAW, passed in judiciary. Please welcome the sponsors to the floor. Senator Soto. Will Senator Marcus be speaking today? If not, just don't raise your hand. All right, awesome. All right, Senator Soto, you will have 5 minutes for your opening. You may begin whenever you're ready.
Yes, hello Senate. I presented this 3 times in the past 24 hours. So this is basically a statute revision that I found because of my friend, my dear friend, Ireland Hadley. So basically the statute revision is instead of having candidates' election poll names based off of their FSU card, it would be based off of their MyFSU account because, for example, it helps not promote dead naming. And if you don't know what dead naming is, it's basically referring to someone as with a name that they don't go by anymore. And not only is that very, homophobic, but it's also very rude. And it causes a lot of dysphoria within oneself. So, and my dead name's on my FSU ID. So I decided, you know what, why don't we just make it change to my FSU account because you're allowed to put your preferred name on your FSU account. So it would just be easier and it would be much more comfortable for students to run for elections and feel more comfortable running with SGA. And as well as just a little statute revision, instead of saying G, it would be F because it just didn't line up So with that, I yield.
All right, sponsor yields 3 minutes and 36 seconds to the remainder of their closing. Are there any technical non-debatable questions at this time? Seeing, Senator Randall, or Chair Randall.
Real quick, Chair Soto, have you had a chance to talk to ITS about this to make sure they can do it? It's oh, never mind. Never mind. Sorry, I'm thinking of the wrong thing.
All right, I believe Chair Randall answered his own question there. All right, are there any technical non-debatable questions? Seeing none, we'll move into the first round of pro. Are there any senators wishing to speak in the first round of pro? Senator Lassard.
So I'm gonna go through Senator. Oh, I animated myself. Sorry. I'm gonna go. So when it comes to dead naming, it's actually a really big deal within, especially the trans community. It can cause a lot of emotional hurt because for a lot of them, actually, to be honest, including myself, do not go by names that we used to go by because of personal trauma or even, loss of somebody that was super, super close to us. And so having to see these names over and over again, or hear them over and over again, in a sense only reinforces the trauma that we've gone through in the past. And so I think it's really important that we give this option to students on campus so that so they're not forced to reinforce trauma that is already going on in their lives. And then I yield.
Senator yields 1 minute and 10 seconds to the remainder of pro. Are there any senators wishing to speak? Seeing none, we'll move into the first round of con. Are there any senators wishing to speak in the first round of con? Seeing none, is there a motion? Is there a motion, Senator Lassard?
I move to call the question.
Is there a second, Senator Martin?
So seconded.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, sponsor, you have 3 minutes and 36 seconds, the remainder of your closing. You may begin in just a second. Now.
Yay. So yes, I pretty much covered it in my opening. If you want to know more or anything, just feel free to hit me up. And also, I know Senator Marcus wanted to add something, so I'll leave the rest to him.
Yeah, so Senator Soto brought this to me and I helped them with some of the more technical details of it. And I was actually the one who discovered the little misalignment in the statute. So that's why we changed the G to an F. But for an example of this, there is precedent for this on the federal level. I feel like this is extremely straightforward. As Senator Linsky pointed out in Judiciary Committee earlier, there is a perennial presidential candidate whose real name is not Vermin Supreme, yet on federal ballots, his name appears as Vermin Supreme. So why can we as an SGA not have students with the name they feel comfortable with on our SGA ballots? And with that, I yield.
Sponsors waive the remainder of their time. We are now in line to vote. Will the pro tempore please administer the vote?
Those wishing to vote yes on Bill 18, please raise your hands. All right, those wishing to vote no, please raise your hands. Those wishing to abstain, please raise your hands. Is there anyone wishing to change their vote? All right, vote reads 36 yes, 0 no, 0 abstentions. Bill 18 does pass.
Congratulations, sponsors, for the passing of your bill. All right, Bill 19, sponsored by Senator Stinson and Senator Linsky. elucidating the legislative subpoena powers vested in the Senate by the Student Body Constitution, subject to limited oversight by the University General Counsel, referred to SLAW, then Judiciary. It was actually only referred to Judiciary. It was accidentally put as SLAW on the calendar. So thank you, SLAW, for taking a look at it. Passed in SLAW and passed in Judiciary. Please welcome the sponsors to the floor for Bill 19. Are the sponsors here? Senator Linsky is here. Senator Linsky, are you planning on presenting Bill 19? Senator Linsky.
Yes, but I would encourage a motion to table, considering that my co-sponsor is not also present.
All right, Senator Lassard.
I'll take up that motion. I'll motion to table Bill 19.
All right, Senator Marcus.
So seconded.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, Bill 19 will be tabled on the floor. Bill 20, sponsored by Senator Boole, implementing an instant runoff voting method for non-executive branch elections. Referred to SLAW, then Judiciary, was actually referred to just Judiciary, but thank you, SLAW, once again for taking an extra look at that one. Passed in SLAW, passed in Judiciary. Please welcome the sponsors to the floor. Senator Boole, you have 5 minutes for your opening.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, this bill was heard twice, and both times received unanimous passing, which is awesome. I hope we can do something similar here tonight. This bill seeks to make a voting method which is much more free. It has been seen to make people feel more in tune with their election, more happy with the results, and ultimately it encourages more students to get involved in the elections, and allows people to not have to be affiliated with a party to feel like they have a chance to win. If anyone is confused about the specifics exactly how instant runoff or ranked preference voting is done, I have an Excel sheet which can explain it. I won't use my 5 minutes to do that because it can be a lengthy explanation because it is a little complex. I know that this can work with Qualtrics. I've worked with Qualtrics enough. It's a very simple thing that could be instituted. It would be very simple just to have a drop-down bar and being able to select preferences for certain positions. This would only apply to offices which have 2 to 3 or more than 2 people, just by the nature of the math. But with that, I yield to my closing.
Sponsor yields the remainder of his time to his closing, yields 3 minutes and 27 seconds. Are there any technical non-debatable questions for the sponsor? Chair Randall.
Sure. Could you explain ranked choice voting for those of us that don't understand?
Certainly. With permission, I'd like to share my screen.
Anna, do you think we could, oh, wait. Oh, I can do that actually, never mind. All right, go ahead.
All right. Can you guys see my cursor? All right. So this is a sample election where it has 3 candidates because that would be a situation which I would imagine to be common. In this situation, the electorate is 421 people, making the majority 211. And bills or ballots 1 through 15 are all possible ballots. And the total of ballots are the number of ballots that are matching this profile. So there are 21 ballots that match the profile of one. So with X, candidate green, candidate orange, and candidate blue being the preference for second, third for presidency or whatever. Now, if you add up all the first preferences first, so Z gets 22 votes, Y gets 28 votes from these ballots. For another example, from ballot number 3 or ballot type number 3, Z is going to get all 22 votes since they are the most first preferenced. Then you go ahead and if there is no majority, so it is possible that someone gets 211 first priority votes. And if they get 211 first priority votes or more, then that candidate is automatically selected. If no one receives 211 votes, then you go into what's called the instant runoff. So candidate Z receiving the least amount of first preference votes is then eliminated from every ballot, regardless of position. So you see candidate Z is now eliminated from every ballot. Then it's recalculated. So now candidate X, which didn't have these 22 votes because Z got them, now gets those 22 votes because they are the most preferenced candidate. Same for candidate Y on ballot 3 or ballot 4, and so on. And we see ballot 15, sorry, we see ballot 15 had Z as a candidate as the only preference because you don't have to vote for people. Those votes are now considered invalid and no votes. This continues again. There is no majority found. So this is kind of superfluous, but you can do it again. And obviously X will win with 311 votes and 110 no votes or invalid votes. If anyone didn't quite get that, I can explain further, but I'll mute for now.
Thank you, Senator Boole. Are there any other technical non-debatable questions at this time? Chair England.
Yeah, just based on this spreadsheet, Senator Boole, so the difference there between runoff 1 and runoff 2, so obviously in runoff 1, nobody got a majority, right? But because there's only 2 candidates, that runoff 2, is that technically necessary? Because we all know that you're inevitably going to remove Y, right? And so even though X didn't get a majority, they are still the winner. So my question to you is like, is that a necessary part of the step? I understand you're explaining it and it makes complete sense. I'm just wondering, like, why is that a step, right? When there's 2 candidates, I understand if there was more candidates, but since there's only down to 2 candidates here, even though X didn't get the majority, you know, as soon as you eliminate, like, they've won, right? Because they're the most popular out of the 2 candidates, you can't eliminate someone else. So do you mind just like maybe explaining that a little more?
Yeah, that is the correct interpretation. The only reason I added this second runoff was to show that people get no voted. I guess it shows it in this one as well, but this more clearly states it. But yes, so if there's 2 candidates, then just whoever has the plurality wins, because obviously if you were to go through, it would end up with a majority.
Are there any other technical non-debatable questions? Senator Marcus?
Would you be willing to tutor a future supervisor of elections on this? Because I know we have difficulty with that position.
Senator Boole.
Although I don't feel it pertains to the bill, I would be happy to work with the future SOE or maybe apply for that position myself.
Senator Martin?
I don't know if this was already answered, but when would you want to implement this? Like in the next election, or what does that look like for you?
To my understanding of statutes, this would, if this were passed and signed by the president, this would be for, depending on the time frame, it should be for the fall elections. It should be in time to be active by then.
Chair Randall.
Senator Boole, what are your plans to advertise this change to the student body and explain this to the student body?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the question. I think it will be imperative that, I think by nature of the elections code changing, it will be imperative that parties advertise this. It's kind of a unique quirk that it would be, I'm personally going to rep this a lot because I'm very proud of this sort of voting method. But by nature, if the election codes change, the parties would want their people to be informed of how to vote. And it is often not even parties, but all candidates would want the voters to know how to vote, or else votes won't happen. So by nature of it being an election, people will be informed because people want votes.
Senator Lassard.
Senator Wool, would I be correct to assume that if we only had 2 candidates, we'd just do our usual simple majority thing? We wouldn't. Okay. Yeah. I was just wanted to make sure that would be the default should we not have more than 2 candidates.
All right. Are there any other technical non-debatable questions at this time? Chair England.
Yeah, sorry, folks. Senator Boole, this was going back to the text of the bill now, actually. I know you've mentioned that this is for non-executive branch elections, but I do see that 714.1 subsection A does talk about executive branch elections. And so could you just elaborate for me a little bit on like how, because I know that, this is mainly for non-executive branch positions, but the bill does mention executive branch positions. So could you just elaborate on, how this would change, if at all, executive branch elections?
Yeah, thank you again for the question. I'm pulling that up. Yes, so I did have to, so in the previous, so unfortunately our Constitution, it tells us that the Senate elections are to be defined in statutes while the executive elections are actually defined as a plurality in the Constitution. So all I did was rewrite the language to only pertain to executive branch. So I didn't add any difference. So it is what actually states, but it's only pertaining to the executive branch. So that's why it specifically talks about them. So it isn't a new procedure, the only new procedure. So it does talk about it just so we can see how to do it for executive, but the only new procedure is for non-executive.
Are there any other technical, non-debatable questions at this time? Seeing none, we'll move into the first round of pro. Are there any senators wishing to speak in pro? Chair Little.
Yes, hello. So personally, I'm involved in other RSOs that have recently implemented ranked choice voting as a part of like how we elect our executive board or how we elect like a leadership board. At first, I was not a fan when we started doing it because I was confused by it and I didn't understand it. But now that I do, I am such a huge fan of it. And it makes, from the perspective of someone who's like run an election in an RSO on this method, it is much easier, in my opinion, after the fact to count the votes and figure out the winner is. I found that it like gave me more time to do other things. So personally, I think this is an excellent bill. I commend the sponsor. I know he spent a ton of time going over this and making sure that everything was as it should be. So I yield in full support.
Senator yields 1 minute and 8 seconds in the first round of pro. Senator Flashman.
This has my full support. I mean, I'm going to pretty much say the same thing I said in SLAW, but this really helps neutral candidates that aren't involved in parties. And even as someone very involved in party politics with Progress and stuff, I really have to say like this is very good for breaking the party control that FSU has, like the necessity to be in a party to run for a position. And it would really give an opportunity and a better chance for people that don't want to run with any party whatsoever and want to remain neutral to be able to have a chance at running against these two parties, considering we have a two-party system right now. So this has my full support.
Senator yields 34 seconds to remainder of pro. Senator Marcus.
Yeah, so once again, I'm going to go off of precedent. There are multiple states that use ranked choice voting. I have been in multiple RSOs that have used ranked choice voting, and I believe it's the most fair and democratic way to conduct elections. It prevents voter suppression. It encourages voter participation, especially those who might be disgusted by a two-party system. It also just allows for independent candidates to run. And I think that's something that is not necessarily a bad thing. And with that, I yield. I'm in full support of this bill.
Senator yields 12 seconds, the remainder of pro. Are there any senators wishing to speak in the remainder of pro? Seeing none, we'll move into the first round of con. Are there any senators wishing to speak in the first round of con? Seeing none, is there a motion to call the question? Chair Little?
So moved.
Is there a second? Senator Villacorta?
Seconded.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, sponsor, you have 3 minutes and 27 seconds to the remainder of your closing.
Thank you, Mr. President. I could not be happier with how debate went tonight. It was all very positive. If you have any questions about the system further, I still have my Excel sheet. I can send it to you. I'm just really happy. I hope we all vote, or everyone else votes positively towards this. I'm really excited. Thank you.
Sponsor waives the remainder of his time. We are now in line to vote. Pro Tempore Wang, may you please call the vote?
Those wishing to vote yes on Bill 20, please raise your hands. Those wishing to vote no, please raise your hands. Those wishing to abstain, please raise your hands. Is there anyone wishing to change their vote? All right, vote reads 32 yes, 0 no, 3 abstentions. Bill 20 does pass.
Congratulations, Senator Boole. Bill 20 does pass. Would have been nice to have you when I wrote a paper on this for one of my classes. All right, constitutional amendments. Amendment 7, sponsored by Senator Linsky as the primary sponsor, revising Article 4, Section 5, Clause A to provide procedural clarity for when the Chief Justice of the Student Supreme Court vacates office expectedly or otherwise referred to judiciary, passed in judiciary. Please welcome the sponsor to the floor, Senator Linsky.
Thank you, Mr. President. Apologies for not having my camera on tonight. I'm a little bit under the weather. Brief introduction on this. The impetus for this amendment was the impeachment. One of the charges that did not make it to the full Senate was that President Levin failed to appoint a justice within 6 weeks. There was a lot of statutory ambiguity and also a big oversight in the Constitution and the statutes on the temporary appointment powers of the Chief Justice. Namely, when a Chief Justice of the Supreme Court graduates, can they appoint somebody to become the next Chief Justice? That's not addressed. The answer seems to be no, because if you vacated your power as the Chief Justice, you don't have appointment power anymore. Instead of extending that appointment power, thought that it would be better addressed to just do the same process that we had in place, but to do it earlier. This is a set timetable when people graduate in the same month. This year is a different story with a different month, but normally in May of each year. Ergo, you know when the vacancy is going to happen, you know when to implement those processes. And then this also addresses the temporary appointment powers of the Chief Justice. Thank you for pulling that up. With that, I'll yield to my closing to deal with whatever questions that you may have. I hope you have some, and I hope to be helpful in answering those questions.
Sponsor yields 3 minutes and 33 seconds to the remainder of his closing. Are there any technical non-debatable questions for the sponsor? Seeing none, we are now in the first round of pro. Are there any senators wishing to speak in the first round of pro? Senator Lassard.
No, as Senator Linsky said, this gets rid of a lot of ambiguity, and I think that's really important. It would save a lot of headache in the future. Lord knows we need less headache on this Senate floor and in Senate committees. I know we're all Wednesday evenings are a fun evening. Love sitting here with you guys, but if we can help make the process easier and help things go more smoothly, especially when it comes to transition of power, I think that is something that we need to do, and I am in full support. I yield.
1 minute and 33 seconds remaining in the first round of pro. Chair Randall.
I have a point of information for the sponsor. Can you explain, Senator Linsky, how temporary justices or temporary associate justices are currently appointed? I know that last line talks a little bit about temporary appointed justices that are appointed by the temporary Chief Justice.
Yes, normally they're appointed by the Chief Justice. So the issue then becomes, if there is a temporary Chief Justice And if that temporary chief justice is an associate justice that's already on the court, they then vacate their seat, which requires an appointment power. However, the temporary chief justice would not have the statutory power of the chief justice to make those appointments. Ergo, the temporary chief justice needs those powers to be spelled out within the express language of this amendment.
Chair Randall.
Yes, so another point of information. So that means that essentially the temporary chief justice position is just in name only in order to fulfill the obligations of processing requests, not necessarily appointing people. I'm a little confused. Like what's the difference between a chief justice and another chief justice, and why the need to differentiate?
The difference between a chief justice and the other chief justice is that they're serving at different times. You can't have two simultaneous chief justices. And the purpose of this language is what happens when there is no chief justice.
Senator Linsky, I meant in terms of appointment powers. Why does one chief justice have more appointment powers than the other chief justice?
Oh, because they've been confirmed by the Senate. Because they've been confirmed.
Okay. If both
Because
of them
they've been through the process. They've been nominated by the student body president. They've been conferred by the Senate. The legislative will has spoken. The dance between the separations of powers has been completed, and we are all happy with the new regime. In the case of, the full chief justice, the temporary chief justice is an item of necessity, being that we do need a chief justice of the Supreme Court when chief justices graduate, and they often do. There needs to be some sort of procedure put in place, because the way that we've been going about it is that the chief justice who vacates office says to themselves, I'm going to tap the next person. And I think that happened last summer. And I think that there was a confusion over that role. And I think that that turned into an impeachment charge. And to eliminate that confusion, there will be no more impeachment charges for such misunderstandings.
just
Another point, Chair Randall.
sorry, I should have asked these in technical and non-debatable. I'm just trying to understand. I'm sorry, I didn't speak up quickly enough. So, Senator Linsky, what happens if they don't appoint a chief justice within 12 weeks, or that chief justice is not confirmed, as routinely occurs, or at least occurred, I believe, last session?
Well, if you look to the top of, if you can scroll up a little bit on this. So there's another provision right at the top. In the event that the Senate does not confirm the student body president's nominee, the student body president shall present the Senate with an alternative nominee within 1 week. And now if you scroll down to 1B, there's also a provision that says their term of office is 12 weeks or until the Senate confirms a new chief justice. Hence, that problem will not occur, because if Senate chooses to be picky and we run out of nominees, the temporary chief justice's term continues until a chief justice, an official one, is selected pursuant to the constitutional process.
I need you to explain that one more time, because it says there they shall have a term of 12 weeks.
Or until the Senate confirms a new chief justice, whichever occurs first.
Okay, my point is, what if it's longer than 12 weeks? 12 weeks can occur first, which means they vacate their position. That's my point.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Let's amend it and say whichever occurs later.
Okay.
All right. Is there a motion?
So moved.
All right. Well, wait, I didn't say, I just asked if there was a motion.
Oh, sorry. I moved to amend the piece of legislation to say whichever occurs first to whichever occurs later.
Okay. All right. So you're amending first to later. All right.
Correct.
Is there a second to that amendment, Senator Boole?
So seconded.
Is there an objection? Seeing none, does the sponsor find it friendly? Senator Linsky?
Yes, I do.
All right, it is adopted. Parliamentarian Rowan.
Just a quick point, just based off the wording of that, it might be to get what you're trying to do across with it. because you're turning it to later, it might just be better to strike the term of office of 12 weeks and just have it be until the Senate confirms a new Chief Justice. Because I think that's the point that unless this the sponsor has a different point, I think that's the point the sponsor's trying to get across. And by making it 12 weeks or later, you open it up where if the Senate confirms before the 12 weeks is over, then you reach a gray area. So it might be better if it's amended to just remove the 12 weeks reference.
That makes sense.
Marion Rowan. So the amendment was technically adopted. So you have to move to amend it once again, just to strike all that you want to strike through. So is there a motion to amend? Senator Bull,
I'd like to move to amend striking, just a moment. Striking have a term of office of 12 weeks or until, and also striking whichever comes first, and adding actually I guess don't strike
yeah, okay. Well, what I
have
can
a term of
what you're trying
office,
to do is
only
shall have-
strike of 12 weeks or until Senate can, or yeah, or until.
have a term of office until the Senate confirms a new Chief Justice. Is that what we're trying to do?
Yes.
Cut out of 12 weeks or, and then cut out which occurs first.
I apologize for my incompetence.
All right, is that goes for your amendment? Is there a second to that amendment that I just explained? Chair Little,
I second.
is there an objection to that amendment? Pro Tempore Wang unfortunately can't update the thing for some reason. You have to use a special account. Does the sponsor find it friendly?
I do.
All right. So just to clarify for everybody, it will read, this temporary Chief Justice shall have a term of office until the Senate confirms a new Chief Justice, period. And then any temporary, and then it goes on. And then we'll hopefully figure out a way to update that somehow. All right. We are still in the first round of pro. Are there any senators wishing to speak in the first round of pro? Chair Little.
Yes, it's me again. Hello. So I have been serving on the Judiciary Committee since last summer, and I can attest to how much trouble it causes and what an obstacle it is when we can't fill the courts. And this past summer in the 72nd, that was the case. We didn't have a Chief Justice at the time, and so we couldn't fill the courts. And there were lots of things that we needed, advisory opinions and decisions and all the things that the judicial branch does for us. So speaking from firsthand experience, this is necessary, and I commend the sponsor for getting it done because it's something that we've been talking about for months. With that, I yield fully in support.
Senator yields 56 seconds in the first round of pro. Are there any other senators wishing to speak? Vice Chair Bull.
I share the sentiments of the sponsor of not wanting to have frivolous impeachment hearings due to misunderstandings of statutes. And this does address one of the many issues we found with our own statutes and constitution during those hearings. I yield.
Senator yields 42 seconds in the first round of pro. Are there any other senators wishing to speak at this time? Seeing none, we'll move into the first round of con. Are there any senators wishing to speak in the first round of con? Seeing none, is there a motion to call the question? Chair Randall,
Mr. President, I move to call the question.
is there a second? Senator
Second.
Hathworthy, sorry. Hi. All right, are there any objections? Seeing none, we are, nope. Sponsor has 3 minutes and 33 seconds in the remainder of his closing. He may begin whenever he's ready.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to thank Senator Randall, especially for pointing out, I think, a crucial area of this amendment that I did not see. It would not have been great if we passed this and we had the same problem where 12 weeks go by and we didn't have a Chief Justice. So I want to commend Senator Randall in the highest terms for on the fly pointing out that mistake so that we could correct it. I want to thank everyone in Judiciary who helped spot this and support this through. And with that, I yield.
Sponsor waives the remainder of his time. We are now in line to vote. Reminder, this needs a 2/3 vote. Will the pro tempore please administer the vote?
Those wishing to vote yes on Constitutional Amendment 7, please raise your hands. Those wishing to vote no, please raise your hands. Those wishing to abstain, please raise your hands. Is there anyone wishing to change their vote? Please message me. All right, vote reads 37 yes, 0 no, 0 abstentions. Constitutional Amendment 7 does pass.
Congratulations, Senator Linsky. Moving on, we have Amendment 8, sponsored by Senator Boole as the primary sponsor, revising Article 3, Sections 2 and 3, revising cabinet positions to be elected rather than appointed, referred to Judiciary and was tabled in Judiciary today. Resolutions on the floor. We have Resolution 4, sponsored by Senator, no, not on the floor. They're not all on the floor. Resolution 4, sponsored by Senator Villacorta, amending Senate structure and composition about who should run the meeting during the transition of Senate and vacancies. Referred to Rules and Calendar, tabled in Rules and Calendar, awaiting an advisory opinion. Resolution 17, sponsored by Senator Darrell Deek, 73rd Senate, imploring the 73rd Senate to the executive branch, FSU administration, and other FSU entities to rescind support of the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism and further support the Palestinian community and free speech. Referred to SLAW, tabled in SLAW. Senator Flashman.
I would like to motion to introduce a resolution on the floor.
Can we do that at the end, please?
Yes.
Of resolutions, thank you. All right, Resolution 18, sponsored by Senator Darrell Deek, calling on the FSU administration and Board of Trustees to review and withdraw investments from corporations deemed unethical by the FSU student community. Referred to SLAW, remains tabled in SLAW. Resolution 24, sponsored by Senator Stinson, calling on the 73rd Senate to play an active role in honoring the life and legacy of Tom Idiwowu and further preventing cardiac arrest through the Tom Project initiatives. Referred to SLAW, tabled in SLAW. Resolution 25, sponsored by Senator Prescia and Hunter as primary sponsors, Marcus, Soto, Nasworthy, Murcia, Stoltz, Arut, Ramos, and Tackett as co-sponsors, advocating for ensured access to telehealth mental health counseling to Florida State students living out of state. Referred to SLAW, passed in SLAW. Please welcome the sponsors to the floor. If you're a sponsor and you are wishing to speak, please just raise your hand and I'll unmute you. All right. Senator Hunter, you have 5 minutes for your opening.
Awesome. So hello, Senate. I don't know if many of you all know, but I am an out-of-state student here at Florida State. I'm originally from Illinois. And like many out-of-state students due to COVID, I've spent a lot more time at home in Illinois than I ever expected when I first came to college. So during that time at home, I attempted to continue my UCC counseling services through Zoom, but unfortunately I was denied that opportunity simply due to my location. So currently the UCC does not provide out-of-state students residing in any state other than Florida access to mental health counseling due to licensing issues. So all of the counselors in the UCC are currently certified to practice in Florida, and that goes for even telehealth services. So these counselors are not mimetic of the FSU population in regards to location. Students should not have limited access to university counseling dependent upon their location, especially as out-of-state students pay $3.32 for the every $1 that in-state students pay on average in tuition and fees. So in other words, out-of-state students are paying 3 times more in tuition and fees compared to in-state students. Senator Prescia and I, who unfortunately could not be here this evening due to prior obligations, had an extensive conversation with the director of the UCC. In this conversation, it was brought to our attention that the UCC does not have the capacity to hire counselors from a multitude of different states. However, they can encourage counselors to get licensed in other states and are advocating in lobbyist groups for changing and licensing in general. So our resolution is derived from that conversation with Director and Dr. Gomez, as he suggested the UCC provide subsidies based out of need for out-of-state students. The resolution that you're seeing right now contains 3 methods to promote equal access to telehealth counseling among college students. The first is providing subsidies for out-of-state students who do not have access to telehealth counseling. The second is supporting the hiring of counselors who hold licenses to practice in multiple states. And the third is advocating on behalf of students to decrease the licensing restrictions that prevent students from receiving telehealth counseling when they are out of state. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me during this time, and I yield the rest of my time to my closing.
Sponsor yields 2 minutes and 56 seconds to the remainder of her closing. Are there any technical non-debatable questions at this time? Senator Lassard.
Yeah, are you guys working with the Mental Health Council on this as well? Have you guys spoke to them at all?
Sorry, I could not mute for a second, but I believe Senator Prescia has. I did not attend the meeting though with the UCC counseling or with the Mental Health Council, as I had class during those 2 times.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Are there any other technical non-debatable questions at this time? Seeing none, we'll move into the first round of pro. Are there any senators wishing to speak in the first round of pro? Chair Randall.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is an excellent resolution. It's something we talked about a little bit in Ridge, and we talked about how like the current practices of the UCC, just because of the way licensure work, disenfranchises the way that out-of-state students could receive support, critical support, and especially during times like these. And there were ideas that UCC even had about how to like remedy this situation. They just hadn't acted on it. So this is the students saying to UCC, go ahead, go forward with your plans. Let's put the money in the pockets or do whatever you need to do to ensure that out-of-state students are treated the same way in terms of receiving the counseling that they pay for as students that are in-state. With that, I yield.
Senator yields 1 minute and 12 seconds to the remainder of the first round of pro. Senator Lassard.
Yes, I will always advocate for people to take care of their mental health before anything. We cannot be adequate senators if we are not being adequate people personally. And so I think this is very important because Senator Hunter made a very good point about how out-of-state students shouldn't have even lapse in services when they get it in state versus out of state. For some people, that like 2-week lapse in services can have a big impact on their mental health and their overall progress as a person. And so I will always advocate for better mental health services on campus and more well-rounded. Albeit, I do feel like maybe getting counselor's license out of state is a little bit more difficult than it should be. It 100% is. I think it's ridiculous. I feel like I really wish we had a national mental health counseling license that people could apply for, just because people move all the time. That would be the ultimate goal. Unfortunately, that is a little bit above us, but I think it's very important that we advocate for mental health on campus for both in-state, out-of-state, and in some cases, international students as well. I yield.
Senator yields 3 seconds to the first round of pro. Are there any other senators wishing to use the remainder of the 3 seconds? Senator Bull.
I'm voting yes, because this is good.
You're muted, Alex.
There's 1 second left in the first round of pro. Are there any senators wishing to speak in the first round of pro? Senator Lassard.
I'm just going to use the second.
All right, we have used up 1 second. What has happened? All right, we are now in the first round of con, and I apologize if you see movement in the background. Our dog just used the bathroom on the floor, so we're cleaning that up. All right, we are in the first round of con. Are there any senators wishing to speak in the first round of con? Seeing none, is there a motion? Senator Darrell Deek.
I move to pass by acclamation.
Senator Marcus.
So seconded.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, congratulations, sponsor. Resolution 25 is passed by acclamation. All right. Resolution 26, sponsored by Senator England and Stinson as primary sponsors, and Senator Mouget as a co-sponsor, showing the 73rd Senate's support of the proposed increase in the student local fees, referred to SLAW, then Finance, tabled in SLAW. Resolution 27, sponsored by Senator England and Lassard as primary sponsors, Senator Bergen, Cubis, Martin, Nemeth, Randall, Rossi, Shaler, Soto, Stinson, and West, all as co-sponsors, implementing an 11 p.m. adjournment to Wednesday night student Senate meetings and outlining procedure for meeting extension and suspension. This will be going to rules and calendar. Resolution 28, sponsored by Senator Little and Marcus as primary sponsors, Senator Soto, Rodriguez, Stoltz, Murcia, Lassard, Flashman, and Ramos, all as co-sponsors, condemning Senate Bill 86 entitled Student Financial Aid for limiting or removing Bright Future scholarships and financial aid for select majors arbitrarily considered, quote, not directly employable. This will be referred to rules and calendar. Actually, it will be referred to SLAW, then rules and calendar. All right. Unfinished, oh, Senator Flashman, you had a resolution to be placed on the floor. Just make sure we get Pro Tempore Wang and I and Anna and.
I have sent all three of you a copy, I believe, already. Do I need to say anything else in that? But
yeah, sorry, I was looking at the wrong email. Let me just show that really quickly. All right. This will be resolution 29, sponsored by Senator Darrell Deek and Senator Flashman, and co-sponsored by Senator Marcus and Senator Villacorta. Give me 1 second to look over it. All right, this will go to SLAW, then rules. All right. Yep, resolution 29. All right, unfinished business, Bill 4, sponsored by Senator Villacorta as the primary sponsor and Senator Marcus as the co-sponsor, amending the candidate screening process, referred to Judiciary, then Internal Affairs, passed in Judiciary, tabled in Internal Affairs, passed unanimously in Internal Affairs, and then tabled on the floor. We ended this in closing. I don't have my notes here. I believe it was 3 minutes and 26 seconds. I think so. I'm just going to give you 3 minutes, 26 seconds. What are the sponsors here to present or wanting to present today? Senator Villacorta.
Yeah, I'm here. As a point of personal privilege, would the chair be able to put up the resolution onto the screen share thing, I guess?
All right, Pro Tempore Wang, do you have? Thank you. All right, you will have 3 minutes and 26 seconds in the remainder of your closing. Just for clarification for other senators, this was heard on election night, in which we ended up not having quorum at that point, and so we could not move forward with the rest of the bill, and that's why it's in unfinished business. But sponsors, you have 3 minutes and 26 seconds. You may begin whenever you're ready.
Point of information before we do that, were there not amendments that we had made to it?
I actually have the amended version. I never closed it out because I knew we were going to get to this. Here we go. So I will share that this time. Clarify if this is correct. I believe we changed conflict of interest.
Yes.
Yep. All right. This is the most updated copy. You may begin whenever you're ready.
All right. Thank you all for your consideration of this 2 weeks ago. We appreciate the amendments and the debate on the bill. Again, just as a refresher, this will change the candidate screening process to ensure that at least 5 interview questions are drawn from the forwarding interview questions on the ST website. and will also ensure that there are recusals for those conducting the interviews if there is a conflict of interest, as well as notification of the Senate should that conflict of interest and recusal happen. I hope you all will vote for this, and I yield the rest of my time to my co-sponsor.
Yeah, so Senator Villacorta and I worked, oh, pardon me, I'm not allowed to say that, worked very hard on this after a summer full of an investigative board that investigated a lot of wrongdoings and appointments, including my own application for summer Senate seats. There was one instance in which I received an interview that consisted of one question that lasted for 3 minutes long, and that does not qualify for an interview. And I did not feel I was able to show my qualifications as a result of that. And so that was the inspiration for the drawing of 5 questions in C3. And then for part E, I feel like that is just very basic ethics in regards to interview. For example, if you knew someone who was up for confirmation on the Senate floor, you would probably abstain. I think it's this equivalent of that. I feel like these are very straightforward changes designed from preventing another investigative board from coming forward again. I feel like these close any loopholes and really make it more clear about expectations for SGA related interviews. And I think this is pretty straightforward, and I yield my time.
Sponsors waive the remainder of their closing. We are now in line to vote. Will the pro tempore please administer the vote?
Those wishing to vote yes on Bill 4, please raise your hands. All right, those wishing to vote no, please raise your hands. Those wishing to abstain, please raise your hands. Is there anyone wishing to change their vote? All right, vote reads 31 yes, 3 no, 1 abstention. Bill 4 does pass.
Congratulations, sponsors. Bill 4 is passed. Statements of dissent. Are there any senators wishing to make a statement of dissent? All right, seeing none. New business. Yay, we finally got here. Senator of the Month. So we will do Senator of the Month, and then we will do the spring awards after we complete Senator of the Month. Dr. Williams will be helping us out in this process. So is there a motion to open the floor for nominations for Senator of the Month for the month of February? Senator Lassard.
Yes, I move to open the floor for nominations.
Is there a second? Senator Nasworthy.
I second that.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now open to nominations for Senator of the Month. Chair Soto. Oh, yeah, there we go.
I nominate Senator Marcus for Senator of the Month.
Is there a second? Oh, we don't need a second for that, I don't think. Senator Marcus, do you accept?
I humbly accept.
Senator Boole.
I nominate Chair Roy.
Chair Roy, do you accept?
I humbly accept.
All right, Senator Gonzalez.
Yes, I nominate Senator Boole.
Senator Boole, do you accept?
Thank you, yes.
Actually, we do need seconds. Oh, okay. So can we quickly redo that? I'm not going to ask if y'all accept. We're just going to ask for the motions in the seconds because clearly y'all already accepted. Senator Soto,
Sorry, my thing wasn't working. I nominate Senator Marcus for Senator of the Month.
all right. Is there a second? Senator Bull.
Seconded.
All right. Is there another nomination?
I nominate Chair Roy.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Is there a second to Chair Roy? Senator Lassard?
So seconded.
All right. Chair Roy accepted. Senator Gonzalez?
I nominate Senator Bull.
All right. Is there a second? Senator Little?
I second.
All right. And all three of you have already accepted, so we don't need that. Senator Grunberger?
I nominate Senator Randall.
Is there a second to that? Senator Darleek?
Sure, I'll second, but I had a nomination as well.
All right. Senator Randall, do you accept?
Yes, I humbly accept.
All right. Wait just 1 second. I need to write all of y'all down. All right. We got Bull, Randall, Roy, Marcus. I'm not missing anybody, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Senator Darleek.
I move to nominate Madam Chair Hunter.
All right. Chair Hunt, is there a second? Senator Gonzalez?
So seconded.
Senator Hunter, do you accept?
Yes.
All right. Are there any other nominations for Senator of the Month? Senator Lassard?
I'd like to nominate Chair Soto.
Is there a second? Senator Nasworthy?
So seconded.
Is there a sorry, we just got the second. Senator Soto, do you accept?
Sure, thank you.
All right. Soto, Senator England.
I nominate Chair Martin.
Is there a second? Senator Soto?
So seconded.
All right. Senator Martin, do you accept? Chair Martin, do you accept?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
All right. Senator Gonzalez.
I move to close the floor to nominations.
Is there a second? Senator England or Senator England?
Yeah, seconded.
Are there any objections? Senator Roy.
Here, can I make a point of information?
Sure, we'll do it quickly.
Okay, will this be done by rank-based voting?
Unfortunately, no. It will be done by our normal way, but to Dr. Williams today. But yes, are there any objections? All right, seeing none, the floor is closed for nominations. We are now ready to vote. For Dr. Williams' sake, we only practiced this with like 2 or 3 candidates, so we didn't expect 6 or 7 actually. So I'm going to write down all the names. Give me 1 second. Everybody's seeing that, correct? All right. Those are all the names you can choose from. Everybody gets 1 vote. You just send the name to Dr. Williams and she will tally the vote. We will know in the coming days. So Dr. Williams.
Hi, Senate. I am going to call roll and you will submit your votes in the chat to me privately. So, and pardon me if I mispronounce some names. Senators Arrett, Bateman, Bergen. Okay. Senators Bull, Cubas, Darrell Deek. Okay, Senators Destin, Dupierre, and England. Senators Fine Out, Flashman, and Garbadage. Okay. Senators Gert, R. Gonzalez, and A. Gonzalez. Okay. Senators Reed, Grunberger, and J. Hitchcock. Senator Reed, I need a last name. Thank you. Okay. Senators Hunter, Killink, Lassard. Okay, Senators Lewis, Linsky, and Little. Okay. Senators Marcus Martin Moline. Okay. Senators Molina, Moore, Mogay. Okay. Senators Marcia, Murray, Nasworthy. Okay. Senators Nemeth, Prussia, Ramos. Okay, Senators Randall, Rigodel, Rivera. Okay. Senators Rodriguez, Rossi, and Roy. Okay. Senators Rudolph, Russell, and Sam. Okay. Senators Scholar, Soto, Stinson. Okay. Senators Stoltz, Suarez, Tackett. Okay. Senators Thorpe, Tooks, Villacorta. And Senators Wang and West. Pro tempore Wang and West. Okay.
All right, thank you, Dr. Williams. Those results will be announced probably tomorrow, whenever the graphic is made. Next, we will move on to our spring awards. These will be presented at inauguration. First, we have the Senator of the Year Award. It is no longer known as the Matty Durham Senator of the Year Award. It is just the Senator of the Year Award. The senator that best serves students, student senate, and the larger university community. Then we have the Mores Award, which is the Senate Ethics Award. The senator who carried out their duties with the highest sense of personal ethics and honor, exemplify. Actually, I'm going to read them when we do them. So we'll just start with the first one. Is there a motion to open the floor for nominations for Senator of the Year Award? Chair Little.
Yes, so moved.
Is there a second?
Yeah, seconded.
Are there any objections? Senator Darrell Leak.
Not an objection. I was just trying to nominate when it was time.
All right. Seeing none, Senator Darrell Leak. Oh, I was asking for the nomination, Senator Darrell.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was nominating Senator Gonzalez.
All right. Is there a second? Senator Marcus.
So seconded.
Are there no objections? Senator Gonzalez, do you accept? Wherever you are. Senator Gonzalez.
I humbly decline. Thank you.
All right. Senator Boole.
Nominate Chair Little.
Is there a second? Senator Nasworthy.
So seconded.
All right. Chair Little, do you accept?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
All right. Give me a second. I got to write your names down. All right. Senator Soto.
I nominate Senator Marcus for Senator of the Year.
Is there a second? Senator Nasworthy.
So seconded.
Senator Marcus, do you accept?
Sure.
All right. Any other nominations? Senator Gonzalez.
I nominate Senator England for Senator of the Year.
Is there a second? Senator Lassard?
So seconded.
No objections again. Senator England, do you accept?
Yes, and I'd like to thank the nominator. Sorry, yeah.
All right. Are there any other nominations? Senator Hunter?
I nominate Senator Randall for Senator of the Year.
Is there a second? Senator Gonzalez?
Yes, I second.
All right, Chair Randall, where'd you go? Oh, there we go. Chair Randall, do you accept?
With too many tears, yes, Mr. President.
All right. Is there another nomination? Senator Rigadell?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Senator Linsky for Senator of the Year.
Is there a second? Senator Lassard?
So seconded.
Does Senator Linsky accept? There we go.
I'm grateful for the nomination, but I respectfully decline.
All right, Senator Soto.
I nominate Senator Ramos for Senator of the Year.
Is there a second? Senator Rigadell?
Seconded.
All right, Senator Ramos, do you accept?
Yes, I do.
All right. Any other nominations? Senator Marcus for Senator of the Year.
I move to close the floor for nominations.
Is there a second? Senator Ramos?
So seconded.
Are there any objections? Senator Rigadell? All right. All right. The floor for nominations of Senator of the Year are closed. We have, all right, I will write them down. This will go the same exact way. One vote, one person. Oops, I did not mean to do that with the extra A, but yeah. England, Randall, and Ramos. These are the 5 choices you will have, and same way as before, will Dr. Williams please call the vote?
Yes. Again, I will call in groups of 3, and if you would please direct message me in the chat. Senators Arrett, Bateman, Bergen. Somebody, okay. Bull, Cubas, Daryl Deeg. Okay. Destin, Dupierre, England. Okay, Senators Fine Out, Flashman, Garbadage. Okay, Senators R. Gonzalez, A. Gonzalez, and Reed. Senator, okay, I see you, Senator Flashman. Thank you. Okay. Senators Grunberger, J. Hitchcock, K. Hitchcock. Senators Hunter, Kalink, and Lassard. Thank you. Senators Lewis, Linsky, and Little. Senators Marcus, Martin, and Moline.
Jonathan, you just messaged that to me.
Okay. Senators Molina, Moore, Mogay. Okay. Senators Marcia, Murray, and Nasworthy. Okay. Senators Nemeth, Prussia, Ramos. Okay. Senators Randall, Rigadell, Rivera. Okay. Senators Rodriguez, Rossi, and Roy. Senators Rudolph, Russell, and Sam. Okay. Senators Scalier, Soto, and Stinson. Okay. Senators Stoltz, Suarez, Tackett. Okay. Senators Thorpe, Tooks, Villacorta.
Thorpe, this is for a vote on Senator of the Year. Just send that to Dr. Williams. Thank you. The names are listed in the chat.
I'm waiting. Okay. And Pro Tempore Wayne and West. Senator West. Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Williams. We will now move on to the next award, which is the Maury's Award, which is also the Senate Ethics Award. The senator who carried out their duties with the highest sense of personal ethics and honor, exemplifying the greatest level of character on which our university prides itself, and or more is. Is there a motion to open the floor for nominations? Senator Boole.
So moved.
Senator Marcus.
So seconded.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, the floor is open for nominations for the Ethics Award. Senator England.
I nominate Senator Linsky.
Is there a second? Senator Marcus.
So seconded.
Senator Linsky, do you accept?
I do, and I'm grateful for the nomination.
All right. Are there any other nominations? Senator Randall.
I nominate Chair Little.
Is there a second? Senator England.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Chair Little, do you accept?
Yes, and thank you again.
All right. Are there any other nominations? Senator Grunberger.
I nominate Chair Martin.
Is there a second? Senator Soto.
So seconded.
Chair Martin, do you accept?
Thank you so much. I accept.
All right. Any other nominations? Senator Gonzalez.
I move to close the floor.
Is there a second? Senator England.
Yes, so seconded.
All right. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the floor is now closed for nominations. We have 3 nominees. Give me 1 second. All right, we have Senator Linsky, Chair Little, and Chair Martin. Will Dr. Williams please administer the vote? Thank you, Dr. Williams.
Yes. All right. 3 at a time. Senators Arnett, Bateman, Bergen. Okay. Senators Bull, Cubas, Darrell Deek. Okay, Senators Destin, Dupierre, and England. Okay, Senators Fine out, Flashman, Garbadage. Okay, Senators R. Gonzalez, A. Gonzalez, and Reed. Okay, Senators Grunberger, J. Hitchcock, K. Hitchcock. Senators Hunter, Kalink, Lassard. Okay, Senators Lewis, Linsky, and Little. Okay, Senators Marcus, Martin, and Moline. Okay, Senators Molina, Moore, and Mogay. Senators Marcia, Murray, and Nasworthy. Okay, Senators Nemeth, Prussia, Ramos. Okay, Senators Randall, Rigodale, and Rivera. Okay, Senators Rodriguez, Rossi, and Roy. Senators Rudolph, Russell, and Sam. Okay. Senator Scalier, Soto, and Stinson. Okay. Senators Stoltz, Suarez, Tackett. Okay. Senators Thorpe, Tooks, Villacorta. Okay. Pro Tempore Wang and Senator West. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. All right, we got 2 more awards left and then we're done. All right. So we have the Veeries Award, also known as the New Senator of the Year Award, the best senator who is serving their first term in Senate. They don't necessarily need to be a freshman. They are the senator who exhibits strength or Veeries through their first term by continuing to persevere in their learning and striving to make a difference. Is there a motion to open up the floor for nominations for New Senator of the Year Award? Chair Randall.
So moved.
Is there a second?
So
Senator Bull?
seconded.
All right, are there any objections? Seeing none, are there any nominations? Senator Bull.
I nominate Chair Little.
All right, is there a second? Senator Tackett. I'm not sure who's seconding.
So seconded, and I would also like to make a nomination.
All right, 1 second. Chair Little, do you accept?
Y'all are killing me. Yes, thank you.
All right, Chair Little accepts. Senator Tackett.
I would like to nominate Senator Ramos.
All right, is there a second? Senator Marcus.
So seconded, and I'd like to make a nomination.
All right, Senator Ramos, do you accept?
I do. Thank you.
All right. Senator Marcus.
I nominate Senator Gonzalez.
All right, is there a second? Senator Little.
So seconded.
Senator Gonzalez, do you accept?
Yes, I accept. Thank you.
All right, Senator Martin.
I'd like to nominate Senator Nunez.
Is there a second? Senator Soto. Senator Soto.
So seconded.
All right, Senator Nemeth, do you accept?
I do. Thank you so much.
All right, Senator Randall.
I nominate Chair Hunter.
All right, is there a second? Senator Nasworthy.
So seconded, and I also have a nomination.
All right, Senator Chair Hunter, do you accept?
I accept. Thanks a million, y'all.
All right, Senator Nasworthy.
I nominate Senator Marcus.
All right, is there a second? Senator Soto.
So seconded.
Senator Marcus, do you accept?
I humbly accept.
All right. All right, are there any other nominations, Senator Grunberger?
I nominate Chair Rudolph.
Unfortunately, you cannot nominate Chair Rudolph as he is in his second term in Senate. All right, are there any other nominations? Senator Gonzalez.
I move to close the floor.
There a second? Senator Little? There, okay.
I second.
Are there any objections? All right, seeing none, the floor is now closed. Those listed for new Senator of the Year, let me do this. Fun fact, I won this award, but in the fall. New Senator of the Year. Oh, I texted to the wrong person. Let me do that to everyone. All right, everyone, Chair Little, Senator Ramos, Senator Gonzalez, Senator Nemeth, Senator Hunter, and Senator Marcus. And in the event any of these awards have a tie, I'll break it as I do any other vote. All right, Dr. Williams, your time to shine.
I don't know. Here we go. 3 in a row. Senators Hart, Bateman, Bergen. Okay. Senators Bull, Cubas, Darrell Deek. Okay. Senators Destin, Dupierre, England. Okay, Senators Finite, Fine Out, Flashman, Garbadage. Okay, Senators R. Gonzalez, A. Gonzalez, Reed. Okay, Senators Reed, Grunberger, and Hitchcock. J. Hitchcock. Senators K. Hitchcock, Hunter, Kalink. Okay, Senators Lassard, Lewis, and Linsky. Okay, Senators Little, Marcus, and Martin. Okay, Senators Moline, Molina, and Moore. I have you, Senator Flashman. Thank you. Okay, Senators Mogay, Murcia, and Murray. Okay, Senators Nasworthy, Nemeth, and Pressure. Okay, Senators Ramos, Randall, and Rigadell. Okay, Senators Rivera, Rodriguez, and Rossi. Okay, Senators Roy, Rudolph, and Russell. Okay, Senators Sam, Skylier, Soto. Okay, Senators Stinson, Stoltz, Suarez. Okay, Senators Tackett, Thorpe, and Tooks. Okay, and Senator Villacorta, Pro Tempore Wang, and West. Did I miss anyone? I think.
All right, thank you, Dr. Williams. And we have one last award to do. The Artes Award, also known as the Chair of the Year Award, the Best Chair of the Resource for Travel Allocations Committee, Programming Allocations Committee, and the Standing Committee Chairs. The Senator awarded the Artes Award demonstrates exception working their communities and has excelled in skill while chairing their committee. Is there a motion to open up the floor for nominations? Senator Tackett,
So moved.
is there a second? Senator Soto.
So seconded.
All right. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the floor is now open for nominations. Senator Nasworthy.
I would like to nominate Chair Little.
All right. Is there a second? Senator Soto or Soto?
So seconded.
All right. Chair Little, do you accept?
Yes, with the most sincere thanks to everyone, I accept.
All right. Senator Darrell Deek has a point.
Yeah, it's a point of information to you, Mr. Chair, in regards to this award. So is it just the current chairs of PAC, RTAC, and the standing committees, or is it any of the senators who served in the, in that position prior to them taking on that? I'm just curious.
So it actually doesn't specify, but I know in our leadership meeting, we said the current chairs in the 73rd, because the 73rd will be voting on them. All right. Senator Nemeth.
I would like to nominate Chair Martin.
Is there a second? Senator England?
Yes, so seconded.
All right, Chair Martin, do you accept? Wherever you are, there we go.
Thank you so much. I accept.
Wait, you what?
I accept, sorry.
Okay, all right. Senator Chair Martin accepts. Senator Marcus.
I nominate PAC Chair Roy.
All right, is there a second? Senator Ramos?
So seconded.
Chair Roy, do you accept?
I accept, thank you.
All right, Senator Grunberger.
I nominate RTAC Chair Randall.
All right, is there a second? Senator Ramos or Senator England? Either one.
Seconded.
All right, Chair Randall, do you accept?
Yes.
All right. Are there any other nominations at this time? Senator Gonzalez.
I move to close the floor.
Is there a second? Chair Little.
So seconded.
All right, are there any objections? All right, seeing none, we have 4 nominees. And I think Chair Little has probably had a record here with a total of 4 nominations for all 4 awards. So we'll see how that goes. All right, anyways, Chair of the Year. We have Little, Roy, Martin, and Randall. One last time, Dr. Williams, will you please do the vote?
Yes. All right. Senator Arnett Bateman Bergen. Just a second, I need to note something. Thank you, Senator Soto. Okay. Senators Bull, Cubas, Darrell Deek. Okay, Senators Destin, Dupierre, and England. Okay. Senators Fine Out, Flashman, and Garbadage. Thank you, Senator Flashman. You didn't miss your name this time. Senators Garbadage, did I call that one? Yes. R. Gonzalez, A. Gonzalez, Reed. Okay. Senators Grunberger, J. Hitchcock, K. Hitchcock. Okay. Senators Hunter, Kalink, and Lassard. Senators Lewis, Linsky, and Little. Okay. Senators Marcus, Martin, and Moline. Okay. Senators Molina, Moore, and Mogay. Okay. Senators Marcia, Murray, and Nasworthy. Okay. Senators Nemeth, Prescia, and Ramos. Okay. Senators Randall, Rigodale, and Rivera. Okay. Senators Rodriguez, Rossi, and Roy. Senators Rudolph, Russell, and Sam. Senators Scalier, Soto, and Stinson. Senators Stoltz, Suarez, and Tackett. Okay. Senators Thorpe, Tooks, and Villacorta. Okay, Pro Tempore Wang and Senator West. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. And as I said earlier, these results will be shared during the inauguration of the next student body president, in which I will be presenting them to the winners. So that'll be exciting. That's something to look forward to. Congratulations to all that were nominated. And we'll see what happens. All right, next on our calendar, we have, I believe it is closing announcements. Yep, we have closing announcements. Are there any senators wishing to make closing announcements at this time? Chair Randall.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to give an update on RTAC, given the email y'all received this afternoon from Dr. Hecht. So currently, as it stands right now, at least for the next few weeks, RTAC is still only funding virtual events. We're moving towards funding in-person events. The clarification we're getting right now is on how to deal with the COVID mitigation strategies that Dr. Heck wants for all of the travel requests. So we're working that out right now. If any of you were having questions about that, that's the response I have at this moment. We're also working to clarify certain parts of the RTEC funding process and the actual form. So if you have recommendations related to that, I'd love to hear those as well. We've got about 50 grand left to give out in RTAC. So go ahead, tell your friends, sga.fsu.edu/rtac.shtml. We look forward to seeing your requests. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Randall. Senator Gonzalez.
I just want to take this time to thank all of our servicemen and women, veterans and first responders. It's very important to recognize for the work they do day in and day out. So if you have any of them in your families around you, if you see any of them, just make sure to thank them. With that, I yield.
Senator Marcus.
Hi, it's sort of was brought to my attention tonight that there were multiple committees that were unable to make quorum this week. And I just want everyone to actively make an effort to go to your committee meetings and participate, because it's so important that we are able to get some of the more messy work done in our committees, such that Senate goes much smoothly like it did tonight. But this was my most enjoyable Senate meeting so far. I think we all will be glad to get out of here before midnight. But yeah, this was a great meeting, and I hope to see everyone next week.
Thank you, Senator Marcus. Senator Villacorta.
Thank you. I wanted to echo the statements of Senator Marcus. Finance had trouble. Some of our members didn't show up. I know other committees had as well. Frankly, it's embarrassing when we have to sit there and wait for our fellow senators who should be on time doing their jobs, and have to look at students who have come to the meetings either with requests in the case of finance or just showing public interest in the case of other committees, and tell them, oh, sorry, we can't get it together enough to have all of our members here to meet. We have to now cancel this and delay funding organization by however long it takes till we get to the next meeting. So if you don't see your friends showing up, encourage them, call them out, hold each other accountable. On a more positive note, I want to welcome our new parliamentarian, as well as congratulate him on his success at the Florida Crisis Simulation with the World Affairs Program. We took it to UF, and our Senate parliamentarian brought home 4th place.
Thank you, Senator Villacorta. Senator Boole.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Echoing the sentiments of the previous speaker, the World Affairs Program brought home, I think it was 18 awards from Flix, and took home the best large delegation award for the 10th year in a row from Flix. So big congratulations to them.
Thank you, Senator Boole. Chair Roy.
All right, thank you and good evening, Senate. I just wanted to thank everyone for your work today, as now we have officially enough PAC members that we could meet without needing senators. I'll still probably contact people just to make sure we meet quorum if someone ever can't attend, but I absolutely appreciate everyone that's been able to come over the last few weeks since PAC just started up again, since we were inactive and lost all of our members over the last semester. But as well as that, PAC is still running strong. We're still doing requests. I have flyers that I've been sending out to organizations. As well, I wanted to actually make some long due announcements. First, when I used to serve as clerk, one of the things that we actually did was announcements, like talking about some of the clubs or events we're in and what they're doing around campus. And I'm wanting to start a group me that will just be announcements that people can feel free just to share. It won't be the regular Senate chat, but just an area that, like, if there's an event happening on campus or through Zoom, you can feel free to share there. As well, one of our former senators created a meme caucus. And I had created one and I had meant to share it on the night of elections once we got to closing announcements. However, we never met actual quorum for that, like to reach the ends. But I would like to share now that I've created chats. I'll be sending it in the actual Senate, just a link to it for anyone that would be interested. It will be nonpartisan. It will be a place just to get to know some of your fellow senators, really interact in a positive way. And I hope that anyone interested will join. You can send any questions you may have about either of these chats to me, but I hope to be able to put these forward with Senate support. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Chair Roy. Are there any other senators wishing to speak in closing announcements? All right, seeing none, we will now go to the officers of the Senate now that we have at least two. Is the press secretary here? No, I believe he left. Makes sense. All right, newly approved Senate Parliamentarian Rowan.
Thank you, President Harmon, and I just want to start off by thanking the Senate for putting your trust in me. I was not going to bring it up, but you know what? Since we've already had two senators bring it up, I might as well add on an addendum to the discussion of the World Affairs program. In fact, this weekend we have another delegation going out to the University of California, Berkeley, so we're hoping to walk away with that with another award for Florida State. We're getting up there in the rankings. Hopefully Florida State will be a top 5 ranked school by the end of this season, knock on wood. I will be, on a parliamentarian note, I will be sending out a link to a Qualtrics in the Senate chat. If any senators have any questions about whether it be bills they want to propose, they want clarification on statutory stuff, clarifications on the rules, Constitution, any of that stuff, please feel free to fill that out. If you want a long answer to it, if you want a short answer, just DM me, send me an email. Any of that is lovely. So thank you all. Have a fantastic night.
Thank you, Parliamentarian Rowan. Pro Tempore Wang.
Hi, Senate. I just have a couple of technical things to go over first. When I'm receiving legislation, a lot of it's formatted improperly. So just make sure if you are using Google Docs and stuff to make sure to put it back in that resolution template or bill template, whatever you're using, just so it's formatted correctly when it gets back to us. And then just to send all your copies of legislation to the Senate President email and the Senate Pro Temp email, it makes it a lot easier and condensed and stuff, where I don't have to switch between my personal email and the Pro Temp email. Just makes it a lot easier. And my last thing is to reiterate what Jonathan said, or Senator Marcus said earlier. Me and Alex have had to be called into multiple committees to act as ex officio members. And we love doing that stuff. We love seeing what you guys are doing in committee, and I love that. However, we would like your voices on the committee, as you guys are the ones who serve on those committees. And I know I'm talking to probably the wrong crowd here, because you guys are still here at 10:30 at night. So I appreciate you all for doing your work. I just want participation in this Senate that we didn't really get in the 72nd Senate. But yeah, if you guys have anything you want to say, reach out to me, reach out to Alex. We're always here for you guys. And yeah.
Thank you, Pro Tempore Wang. Yeah, I'm gonna echo that. Nice as it is to go to committees, I don't feel like having my, I don't know, when I'm cooking dinner or something, I have to go to a committee because I can't put my full effort into it. So, show up, make sure your fellow committee members don't show up. And if they don't show up, let Pro Tempore Wang know. She is in charge of attendance, of which she has already suspended some senators. So if you don't come nicely, hopefully you'll come to make attendance. Other than that, oh, we will be getting a clerk, hopefully, if they pass the Internal Affairs Committee. So hopefully she will come to the floor eventually sometime next week. And that will help with organization and stuff. And she will be in charge of the Canvas page, of which we have already made, in which that will be the central hub of where all our legislation should be. We'll test it out for a couple weeks before we actually implement it into the Senate. And hopefully that will give Anna an easier job as well. And you guys will have a point of contact for all things legislation in our clerk. Same thing that was said before, formatting, really important, Arial 11. Yes, an interview has been conducted, but they've already been chosen. They just haven't been forwarded. Thank you, Chair England. Format, Arial 11. And then also to clarify, when amending in committee, please bold it so that we know what you have amended. Even if you struck it out, that's bolded because it happened in committee. Other than that, I think that's it. Congratulations again to all the awards nominees. I look forward to seeing y'all win. All right, advisor announcements. Oh, and have a good night. Advisor announcements. Are there, do the advisors want to make an announcement?
Yeah, I'm just here to say sorry for the confusion last week, and you guys really showed your flexibility and adaptability and to be able to work around those things that was a little bit of a mistake. So I thank you for that, and I appreciate the good energy we had in here today and the nominations. That was so fun to watch. Also, I'm here to say the weather has been amazing outside. I hope that you guys have all stepped out and basked in the sun with some sunscreen on. And Pro Tempore Wang would also, I'm sure, want me to tell you guys to hydrate as well. So enjoy yourselves. Maybe do your committee meetings outside. Take a minute. Yeah, that's all I got. We're getting to that point in the semester, so be mindful of the holistic you. Great to see you guys. Gosh, okay. That's all I got.
I second the holistic you. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. I would like to say and let you all know that we are working very hard to hire in an assistant director for SGA. So you all will have someone that will be here for you all, but I plan to still be with you all as well. And what I want to do soon, because I'm getting acclimated and more acclimated with everything, I would love to potentially put out office hours for probably Thursday and Fridays. So if you have questions, you just need to talk about something, you want to go over one of your bills or resolutions that you're thinking about putting out. I've had the pleasure of sitting with Senator Bull, and he went down in history as my first student that I sat with. And so it was really good to see the bill that we discussed come to the floor tonight, and you all looked at it and decided to push it through. So that was really cool. So I just want to open up to offer myself to you all. Send me an email, and when I have the appointment schedule out, you'll be able to schedule an appointment. But for now, you can just send an email and I will schedule with you. I want to make sure that you have a bridge between yourselves and the administration. And even when we have the assistant director, I still will be around as well.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. I know we are very appreciative that you are here. So thank you. But yes, we have an interview tomorrow, actually, for an assistant director. So that's exciting. Other than that, I think we're at final roll call. Will the Pro Tempore please administer the roll?
All right, Senators Murcia, Flashman, and Tackett. Senators Roy, Villacorta, and Marcus. Senators Bateman, Hunter, and Little. Senators Bergen, Rudolph, and Destine. Senators Grunberger, Rossi, and Mouget. Senators Shaler, Prussia, and Randall. Senators Stoltz, Arrett, and England. Senators Nasworthy, Molina, and Lassard. Senators Dupierre, Rodriguez, and Linsky. Senators Rigadel, Fineout, and Soto. Senators Lewis, Ramos, and Sam. Senators A. Gonzalez, Martin, and Gabadage. Senators Reed, Moore, and Suarez. Senators Nemeth, Russell, and J. Hitchcock. Senators Melion, Murray, and West. Senators Rivera, Thorpe, and K. Hitchcock. Senators Kubas, Darrell Deek, and Tooks. Senators Bull, Kalink, Stinson, and R. Gonzalez. All right, is there anyone's name I did not call? Oh, thank you, Stoltz. Got you. All right, President Harmon.
All right, is there a motion to adjourn? Chair Little.
So moved.
All right, we are adjourned at 10:43 p.m. Have a great night.
I get them out.